Recording in progress. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Pada Shankaram Lokashankaram Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram. Om Partaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Graditam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitaamritavarshinim Bhagavati Ashtadashadhyayini Ambatvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshini Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutah Stunvanti Devyai Stavaihi Vedai Sangapadakramopanishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagah Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam Navidusura Suraganah Deva Yatasmai Namaha Deva Yatasmai Namaha. Hari. Bhagavan Sri Krishna had concluded with the 53rd verse. The teachings, his teachings that began from the 11th verse. And in this span of these 43 verses, he has summarized the entire Vedic teaching. The sum and substance of all the teaching is that all of us must perform our duties as worship of God. The result of such performance will be vairagya or purity of mind. That purity of mind will lead us to viveka, to discriminate atma from anatma. Then the mind will abide in that atma. That is the message. And now he pauses to let Arjuna ask any questions he may have. And we saw in the last class, Arjuna asked a brilliant question. Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha Samadhistasya Keshava Stitadihi Kim Prabhasheta Kim Asita Vrajeta Kim. What are the characteristics of a wise man, an enlightened master? That is the basic question. Now, Bhagavan answers this brilliant question in the next set of verses, leading all the way to the end of the second chapter. So, let us see what Bhagavan has to say. Shri Bhagavan Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parthamanogatan atmanyevatmana tuштah स्थितप्रज्ञस्तदोच्यते प्रजहाति यदा कामान् सर्वान् पार्थमनोगतान् आत्मन्येवात्मना तुष्टः स्थितप्रज्ञस्तदोच्यते. This portion of the second chapter, these 18 verses, the Sthita Prajna portion, is very important. Often quoted by Shankaracharya and others. It's very important because once we know the characteristics of a jnani, we have a model to guide us in our spiritual sadhana. The description serves as a guideline to all seekers in their sadhana. Shankaracharya says, Yani sthita prajnasya lakshanani tani mumukshoho sadhanani. Whatever is the natural trait of a jnani serves as an example to others, role model. He is a role model. So we can aspire to gain those traits. So this is an important guideline for every sadhaka. The second benefit of this section is we can ourselves check and see to what extent we have gotten the benefit out of this study. Often people ask the question, how do I know whether I have become a jnani or not? If not that bold, at least how can I know whether I'm making progress? If I have become a jnani already, I don't have to come to these classes anymore. So I should know. I'm joking. Or otherwise, how long should I continue? Where do I stand and how much work I have to put in? Are there any physical indications? Will there be a halo behind my head? Will there be any such changes? Will I walk, talk differently? Arjuna asked all these questions. How do I know if I've reached my goal? Warning. Use this portion to evaluate yourself, not others. Okay? Use this portion to check or change you, not to judge others. So as a seeker, you learn from it and implement. That's all. In here, Bhagavan discusses another important topic also, and that is the Sthita Prajna Sadhanani. what are the sadhanas to be practiced to become a sthita prajna? So, two topics. What are the characteristics of a person who has already become a sthita prajna? And then two, the disciplines or the spiritual practices, sadhanas, for one to become the sthita prajna. Regarding the sadhanas, I've added a note that Lord does not give the sadhanas elaborately, but only gives a hint. He's already hinted that everybody has to go through Karma Yoga and then Jnana Yoga. More of it we will see in the coming chapters. The Jnana Yoga that one has to go through is presented in 3 steps in the scriptures. The first step is Shravanam, meaning receiving the scriptural teaching. The scriptural teaching should not be a DIY project, do it yourself project. No, it's not. It should be received from a competent teacher. Otherwise, I get into all kinds of problems. There's a unique method of extracting the meaning out of scriptures. We'll see all those details in due course. The scriptural teaching thus received will reveal my true nature. This will help me in self-discovery. Scriptures and the Guru are like mirrors. We cannot see our face directly, so we use a mirror. So, even though you are looking outside into the mirror, what you are seeing is not the external mirror, but with the help of the mirror, you are seeing your own face. Similarly, if I have to see my real self, I should use a special mirror, and this special mirror is Guru Shastra Upadesha. The scriptural teaching is a verbal mirror. If a student appropriately uses this teaching, it will help in discovering his real nature. So self-ignorance is removed by Shravanam. The ignorance about oneself is removed by listening to the words of the scriptures as he teaches the scriptures to you. Listening to the Guru as he describes what is said in the scriptures to you. And Shravanam facilitates self-discovery. Shravanam helps in seeing my real self. This is the first step in Jnana Yoga. The 3 steps are said in the Upanishad itself. In Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, in the Maitreyi Brahmana, is a famous statement. Atmava are shrotavyah mantavyah nidityasitavyah. Atma indeed. You must do Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam to get that knowledge. The Upanishad make it very clear that the first step, Shravanam, is the first step to receive this teaching. The second step is in Jnana Yoga. As even I am receiving the teaching, several doubts come to my mind. The teacher does not want the student to just believe in what he says, but he wants you to know the truth. It's not a matter of believing, but it's a matter of knowledge, where knowing is involved, buddhi is involved, and the intellect will not accept something unless it is convinced. It should be logical. And it should be in keeping with your own intellect. The intellect is not convinced, even God cannot make you accept something otherwise. This is a matter of knowing, not a matter of believing. So the Guru allows the student to think rationally and see whether his intellect is able to accept this knowledge. If there are any doubts regarding these teachings, the Guru allows the student to raise any number of doubts. So the second process of Jnana Yoga is asking my own intellect, honestly, am I convinced? Of what? That I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, but I am the eternal consciousness functioning through BMI. Unless and until the student is convinced, the guru is ready for any amount of discussion. See how many questions Arjuna asked in the Bhagavad Gita and how patiently Bhagavan as Jagat Guru, he answered all of them. This interaction and clarifying all doubts is called Mananam. This is the second important step of Jnana Yoga. By Mananam, I remove all the intellectual obstacles. With this, the knowledge, the teaching is converted to conviction in that knowledge. It has become a firm conviction for me. Then comes the third stage. Up to this, I have handled only my intellect and asked whether the intellect is able to accept the teachings and made sure that there are no more intellectual problems. But that's not enough. This intellectual knowledge must be converted to emotional strength, psychological strength, because it is our emotional personality that is mostly transacting in our day-to-day life. The emotions dominate our intellectual personality. We get disturbed so much with the little things. The road rage we see, prime example of this. Angry, agitated, irritated throughout the day. Series of emotional interaction. If I do not strengthen my emotional personality, the knowledge will remain isolated. In my day-to-day situations, I will continue to be as bitter as before, worried with all kinds of complexes. Therefore, if I should enjoy the emotional freedom, then I should free myself from all these unhealthy emotional responses. Emotional immunity is very, very important. IQ is good, intellectual quotient, intelligence quotient. But it will be useful only when you have a good EQ, emotional quotient. Conversion of IQ to EQ, intellectual knowledge to psychological strength, very important. This is the third and final step. This is called Nididhyasanam. Once a person goes through this third step, then he has converted his jnana into sthira prajna. Sthira or sthita prajna. Sthira prajna, firm. Sthita prajna, established in that knowledge. Both mean the same. So you hear both terms. In the verse, sthita prajna is used. Through Shravanam and Mananam, he gets prajna, knowledge. And through Nididhyasanam, he converts prajna to sthira prajna, firm knowledge, and he becomes sthita prajna, one who is established in that knowledge. So Bhagavan deals with the two topics in this section. One is how to convert prajna to sthira prajna. How can I become that sthita prajna? Second, after converting to sthira prajna, what kind of mind do I enjoy? The mind is called Jivan Mukti. That mind has Jivan Mukti. You become a Jivan Mukta. The Jivan Mukti mind is a light mind, enjoyable mind, lovely mind, a mind that is not burdensome. Many people think Jnani has no mind. He has no mind, but he keeps on talking. Mindlessly, he's talking. He has a thoughtless mind. No, Jnani is not without a mind. He is free from the burdensome, ignorant, problematic mind. His mind is so light. Mind is so light that he's not even aware of its presence. Whereas, what do we say? I tell you, my mind is such a burden. What is the weight of your mind? Have you ever weighed your mind? It's no weight, just thoughts, but you still feel it's so heavy. Any part of the body that is healthy, you're not even aware of it. When your knee has a problem or you have a headache, those parts of the body tell you that, hey, I'm here. But then you're just fine. The knee doesn't bother you. But all of us, as we are aging, growing old, the knee tells you, hey, I'm here. The hip tells you, the lower back, the upper back, the elbows, the shoulder, each part of the body tells you, hello. But when they are healthy and all that, you don't even know that they're there. Similarly, you feel the presence of the mind as long as there are worries, fears, anxiety. But if the mind is light, pure, and all that, you don't even see that. In a jnani, all these things are not there. Worries and all, not there. So light. So light. You do not know that it's even there. Therefore, it is said that the jnani has mano nasha. Mano nasha, destruction of the mind, should be understood as falsity of the mind. So Mano Nasha, really speaking, it is not destroyed. He enjoys a wonderful mind because he doesn't give reality to it. So Bhagavan now talks about this wonderful mind. So what is the first trait of this jnani? He says, Atmani eva atmana tushtaha. A very important line. You will hear me saying this again and again later on when we study other texts, whether it is Prakarana Grantha or the Gita itself or the Upanishad. This phrase, Atmani eva atmana tushtaha. A jnani is happy with himself, by himself. He is self-sufficient. He does not need any external things to be happy. Of course, he will need food, shelter, and all that. Physical dependencies will be there. That is different. We're not talking about that. As far as his emotional well being is concerned, he's not going to go around with a begging bowl. His life is for giving love and care, not for begging for love and care. So it is said, Jnani is Atmani eva Atmanatushtaha, happy in the self, Atmani, and Atmana as the self. Not just with things and situations, also with regard to beings, even with regard to physical body, and nothing bothers him. Physical condition of the body does not. Nothing bothers him. I am so concerned with everything. I cannot accept my old age. When the hair turns gray or head goes bald, my oh my. Jnani does not depend on any factor for his happiness. He has happiness within. This is the first condition of jnana, self-sufficiency, self-contentment. Once there is a fullness within myself, what is the natural consequence? Bhagavan says, Sarva Kama Tyagaha, renunciation of all expectations, all desires. It's like a person looking for a cane, a walking stick. What does he look for a walking stick? Legs are not strong enough to stand on his own legs. Therefore, to complete myself, I need a stick. Desire is born of not being complete because of a sense of incompleteness. When I do not see myself as a complete person, and I think only when there is a house, a wife, or a child, I'm happy. Desire is, I see, apurnatvam, incompleteness. It's a symptom or a sense of not being full. The case of a jnani, he never sees himself as incomplete. He is atmani eva, atmana tushtaha. Does not need anything to complete him. He may use the things of the world, but he doesn't need those things. For all others, ajnanis, they depend on so many things, depend on things that they use. So many things we depend on. Ajnani, sarvan kaman prajahati, gives up all desires. Sarvan kaman, all desires. Dependencies, because of which his mental strength could be affected. They are all gone. So he has that mental strength. All these desires are in manogatan, in the mind, whimsical mind, whims and fancies. They wriggle around in your mind as worms. Jnani has none of those. All the worms have been cleared from his mind. This knowledge has dewormed him. All desires are dropped with the discovery of completeness. So this is called kama tyaga. This is the complete trait of a sthita prajna, one who is firmly established in this knowledge. So a jnani is happy with himself. He is self-sufficient. He does not require any external factor to be happy. He has intrinsic happiness, innate happiness. This is the first indication of jnana, self-sufficiency, self-contentment. In the case of a jnani, he never sees himself as incomplete. Does not need anything to complete him. For all others, a jnani, they depend on things that they use. A jnani gives up all those desires. Dependence is because of his mental strength. Second trait of sthira prajna. Here, desireless should be understood properly. In the Shastras, two types of desires are talked about. One type is allowed. Those desires that fulfill three conditions are allowed. What are they? They must be legitimate desires, dharmic desires. Like the desire of parents that the children should grow well, they should be well educated, and should be able to grow well. I should be able to do my duties toward my children. I want to fulfill my duties. It's a very legitimate desire. In fact, I should fulfill them. Similarly, I want to buy a house. I want to buy certain things. Earning money legitimately. All those are allowed. The second condition is moderate. What we mean by moderate is this: when a person worldly desires go to such a level, the whole life is dedicated only to material pursuits. He has no time to contact his spiritual center. This is a lopsided approach to life. So if the desires go beyond a limit, that's a dangerous life. Whatever you do, you should remember that these are all impermanent, incidental. Our real center, our core, our personality is spiritual. Second condition is providing time for spirituality. You do anything. Let not, let not your worldly roles carry you away from the real center of yours. You should have quality time for spiritual invocation. For your Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, you should make time. Then the third condition is all these desires should be non-binding desires. Non-binding desires. It's a very difficult but important condition. Convert your desires into just being preferences. What is the difference between binding and non-binding desires? When a desire is a binding desire, it has the potential to upset you, to afflict you. Naturally, I try to fulfill that desire. But whether the desire will be fulfilled or not, it's not totally under my control. We've already seen this. Karmani eva adhikaraha te ma paleshu kadachana. A wonderful plans for my child, what he should do. But the child has totally different desires. Any dream can be shattered because we are not omniscient, omnipotent. We don't know everything. We don't have power to make everything happen. A binding desire is a time bomb waiting to explode anytime. Therefore, you have to diffuse that bomb by proper understanding. And what's that? I have this desire, and I will also work for this desire very well. And I will seek the grace of the Lord. I will seek His blessings and all that. In spite of all this, there are chances that the desire may not be fulfilled, or it get fulfilled, but not to the extent that I want. When that is the case, when that happens eventually, I am mentally prepared. That mental preparation, born out of wisdom to convert desire to preferences, is the third condition. A desire that meets these three conditions is called Shuddha Kama. Jnanis of Shuddha Kamas. It was the desire of Shankaracharya that led to all his great works and all his great accomplishments. With that, he was able to bless the humanity. Again, it was a desire of Bhagwan that the universe manifests. So kamayata bahusya prajayeti satapotapyata sapatastaptva idagum sarvamasrujata. Taittiriya Upanishad, we just studied recently. It says everything came from that desire. Saha kamayata. He desired, he willed. Everything came from there. In that context only, Shankaracharya writes a beautiful commentary asking if Bhagavan also has a desire, will he not be bound? Here in the second chapter, they said that the jnani does not have desires. Then how can you say Bhagavan has a desire? Shankaracharya raises this question and answers saying Bhagavan and jnani's desire are Shuddha Kam. If fulfilled, great. If not fulfilled, that's also okay. So we should understand the phrase Sarvan Kaman Prajahati and appreciate every word. Prajahati means what? Jahati means give up. With the prefix prakarshena jahati, completely renounces. And that too, not one or two desires. Sarvan Kaman, all desires that exist in the mind. Sita prajnah tada uchyate. Then he is called a man of firm knowledge. Don't make frivolous statements like, when I go to sleep, I give up all desires. Or that saint or sage is not a sthita prajna because he wants to eat, he wants to sleep, he wants to drink water. So the state of no desires can only come from a sense of purnatvam, being complete in oneself. So that person is yada atmani eva atmana tushtaha bhavati. When he is content in the self, by the self, tada sarvan kaman prajahati, then he gives up all desires. Tada, then sthita prajna uchyate, then he is called sthita prajna, one who is established in this knowledge. When we start giving up desires, little by little, our vision becomes clearer and clearer. And then we get a glimpse of happiness. To the extent the mind gets a glimpse of happiness, to that extent it gives up desires for external objects. When all extrovert desires end, then nandati nandati nandatyeva. There is joy and only joy. So the lakshana of sthita prajna is nishkamata, desirelessness, atma santushti, contentment in the self. These are the characteristics of an enlightened person. Actually speaking, nishkamata and atma santushti are two sides of the same coin. Continuing, verse 56. Dukkeshvanuvit namanaha. Dukkeshvanuvit namanaha. Sukeshu vigataspruha. Sukeshu vigataspruha. वीतरागभयक्रोधः वीतरागभयक्रोधः स्थितधीर्मुनिरुच्यते स्थितधीर्मुनिरुच्यते दुःखेष्वनुद्विग्नमनाः सुखेषु विगतस्पृहः वीतरागभयक्रोधः स्थितधीर्मुनिरुच्यते. How does a jnani respond to situations in life? especially unfavorable situations. From this, it is very clear that even Jnani cannot avoid unfavorable situation. Don't be under the impression that by becoming a Jnani, you can avoid painful or difficult situation. A Jnani or Ajnani, all of us are born with our prarabdha karma. Our birth is because of prarabdha. Until death happens, punya papas will affect us. Jnani may not create fresh papas because he's become an akarta. He doesn't have any karma. He does not acquire any agami karma. But whatever karmas he acquired when he was an ignorant before, that will have to bear fruits and impact him. And whatever prarabdha has brought him, that also he has to exhaust only. So when they come, how does he deal with them? Anudvignamanaha. A Jnani's mind is so emotionally strong that disturbances are minimal. The number and frequency of mental disturbances that one has is a good measure of mental strength. As you become stronger mentally, all those disturbances become fewer and fewer and less frequent. The intensity of such disturbances also is a good measure. How to measure the intensity? When it is of a lesser intensity, it just creates a ripple of reaction in the mind and then it just fades away. When the intensity increases, then it shows up in our organ of speech. Words are affected. I curse, I use strong words to hurt people, I shout. That is the mental disturbance overflowing from the mind to speech. If it's still more intense, it moves from speech to physical body also. Her body shivers. Some people gnash their teeth and so forth. Emotional disturbance is really strong. Mind, speech, body are all affected. Frequency and intensity are the first two indicators. What's the third? When I'm affected or disturbed by an unfavorable condition, situation, how much time I take to recover? How long does it take for me to bounce back to balance? The intensity is more, the weakness of the mind is more. You don't recover quickly. It's really traumatic. So deep that whole day I am upset. Sometimes I'm upset the whole week. Sometimes people totally cut the relationships for the rest of their lives. Recovery period becomes less and less as you gain this knowledge. The sign of this knowledge getting converted to emotional strength is the recovery period being shorter. Stronger the mind emotionally, lesser will be these three: frequency, intensity, and recovery period. Jnani has a good, strong mind. Similarly, the disturbances can be because of favorable situations also. It's also excitement. Heart attack can come from positive excitement also. The Vedanta says both are not healthy. So who is a jnani? He is unperturbed not only by adversities, but sukheshu vigata spruha. He is dispassionate to favorable situations also. Even when there are favorable conditions, he is not carried away. Vigata spruha means he is dispassionate. He is balanced. Jnani has no expectations from a thing, from a being, from a setup. This is called kama tyaga, giving up desires. The expectations are not fulfilled, I get upset. So every expectation is a potential sorrow. Jnani may have suggestions, advice, recommendations for someone for their own good, but he does not have any expectation from them. This absence of expectation stems from his purnatvam, completeness. This sense of fullness, completeness can come only from knowledge that you are ever full. Consequently, a jnani has samatvam, a poised state of mind, all the time in spite of external turbulence. Tragic news comes, he may loudly say, "What?" Immediately that is followed by, "So what?" Neither adversities nor favorable situations disturb him. Nothing wrong in enjoying pleasant circumstances. Just be aware. All that is subject to coming and going. Beautiful statement in Sanskritam as to how you should meet sorrows and joys. Agate swagatam kuryat. Anything that comes. Swagatam, welcome. Welcome it. When something is going away, gachantam na nivarayet. Don't try to stop it. Suppose you get a headache. Welcome. Headache, welcome. Will you have aspirin? Tylenol? Advil maybe? Just like when you entertain guests, you ask them, would you like to have coffee or tea? Or maybe a cool drink? Mhm. Like that. Similarly, a pleasant situation should not cloud my discrimination. Don't get addicted to them. Jnani handles both the pleasant and unpleasant situations the same way. Have equanimity of mind in all joy giving and sorrow giving situations. Take them both in stride. In short, he is Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha. Vita means free, free from all these emotional problems. The first is Raga, attachment, emotional dependence on them. We've already seen this in detail in the first chapter. And the difference between attachment and love and all that. Jnani has love, does not have attachment. Dependence is called Raga. First chapter we talked about Raga, Shoka, Moha. Here Sri Krishna presents it a little bit differently. He says Raga, Bhaya, Krodha. What is wrong with Raga, attachment or psychological dependence? That leads to fear. The more I am dependent on something, the more insecure I feel about losing that. Whatever I depend in this world, that itself is insecure. How can such a thing give you everlasting security? Such a dependence is basically what is wrong with our approach in life. That's why we are not able to solve our problems in life. It's not because of lack of effort, it's due to lack of direction. Yatna, effort, is okay, but prayatna is what is important. The prefix pra denotes effort in proper direction. What's the right direction? An insecure person should hold on to something secure for security, not another insecure thing. The only secure thing in this world is Bhagwan. Until you discover security in yourself, hold on to the ever secure Lord. An unintelligent person neither discovers security in himself, nor does he hold on to Bhagwan and just struggles like a drowning man holding on to grass or straw. This is raga, attachment, unintelligent dependence. It'll only increase insecurity. The consequence is bhaya. So feeling secure, I'm fearful. Wherever there is raga, there will be bhaya, constant uh, fear running in our mind. The old days when telegram was the fastest communication. Whenever a telegram comes, the first thought is somebody died. Even now, if the phone rings in the middle of the night, calling number is from, let us say you are in the US, the call is coming from India. What is the first thought? What follows by a krodha, anger? The anger is directly proportional to attachment. When I want to hold on to something and I find there are so many obstacles, every obstacle makes me angry. Raga leads to bhaya, bhaya leads to anger. These three are always together as though they are brothers. A jnani has got out of raga because of his self sufficiency. He does not have emotional dependence. So, no fear either. Abhayam pratishtam vindate. We saw in Taittiriya Upanishad. He gains fearlessness. We all have the wrong idea about moksha. Moksha is fearlessness. As long as self ignorance is there, fear cannot be avoided. Self knowledge is the only way to fearlessness. Such a person, sthita dihi munihi uchyate. Such a person is a muni, a sage. Whether the person is a sage or not does not depend upon his external attire. External appearances do not guarantee freedom from bondage. Transformation within gives freedom. The one who has done this change internally is a sage. Even if he's a householder, even if he's very much in the world of activities, he is still a muni. Mananat munihi. A contemplative person is a muni. He has the right knowledge. How did he become a muni? Sthitadihi. Because of his firm knowledge. He's established because being established in knowledge. The knowledge has been converted to emotional strength. Sthita Dehi is another term for Sthira Prajna. Not only is he intellectually strong, that means if anybody questions his basic philosophy, he is able to intellectually able to defend his position. In addition, he is also emotionally very strong. So he is able to enjoy peace of mind. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om